It's Monday, March 13th, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Mantle. We have a great show in store for you today. We're going to learn more about Barnstable Horace Mann Community Public Charter School with Principal Sheila Cuxtis. We will also talk with Glenn Cannon with the Cape Cod Commission. He's the Technical Services Director. He's going to tell us about a very important road project in Cotuit. And we'll learn more about Science on the Street with Jill Newmeyer DePiper. She's the Director of the Cape Cod Regional STEM Network. All of that on this episode of Barnstable Today. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The Planning Board will review plans for a controversial proposal to build a condominium complex on South Street in Hyannis. The 33-unit complex would be located where the former Dockside restaurant was located. The applicant is seeking multiple waivers from zoning ordinances. The Planning Board meets tonight at 7 in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, employers looking for help still have time to be part of the Barnstable Youth Commission's upcoming job fair. The job fair will be held Wednesday, April 12th, 2017 from 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Youth 18 and under will have free admission. This will also be a great opportunity for kids to learn how to prepare for an interview, to learn more about the importance of a resume, and how to write one, as well as how to complete a job application. To learn more, you can contact Amy Harwood at the HYCC. Prince Cove Marina is getting an upgrade. Work will begin on the reconstruction project of the Prince Cove Marina bulkhead this month. The area will be closed from March 13th until approximately May 1st. The bulkhead will be reconstructed with sheet pilings, concrete, and other facilities. No access to the bulkhead will be available during construction. The boat ramp and associated parking lot will remain open during construction. Residents, though, should avoid the bulkhead construction area. Questions regarding marine activities in the area should be directed to the Marine and Environmental Affairs Division. Well, the Golf Committee meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, March 14th, has been canceled. The committee is preemptively canceling due to potential inclement weather. And up next, we're going to learn more about the Barnstable Community Horace Mann Charter Public School and, of course, its open enrollment. So, of course, we have with us today Patty Horgan. She is a kindergarten teacher at BCHMCPS. Did not want to mess that one up. And, of course, we have Dr. Sheila Cuxtis with us, who is the principal at BCHMCPS. Thank you both so much for joining us here.
Thank you, Sarah.
This is a big time of year for you guys because this is a time when individuals can enter the lottery to get a spot at your elementary school. Tell us first, before we start talking about the specifics of the lottery, what's so special about your elementary school?
Well, Barnstable Community Horace Mann Charter Public School is one of the public elementary schools in the town of Barnstable. What's unique about us is, as a Horace Mann charter, we are totally site-based managed. Our charter is essentially a contract with the state. When you become a Horace Mann charter, which, by the way, is the hidden gem of the whole charter school debate, because we are a public school, we are within the town of Barnstable, all of your tax dollars stay right within the town. It's for all children in the town. So as a Horace Mann charter, you choose a model of education, and that's essentially where you become different. So our model is called the Accelerated Schools Plus model, and it is based on the philosophy that strategies normally reserved for enrichment classes are used for all children.
Wow.
We also have a big governance component to the ASP model. So there's a lot of opportunity for leadership roles for teachers and parents. Parents and teachers can be on the board of trustees, the steering committee, and every stakeholder in the school, including the children, have a part in the decision-making process.
Wow, so important. I think when you have a school where you have parent involvement, and I think too, they've shown studies when you have a school too where you're taking that extra step to get in the lottery, sometimes that equates to more parent involvement. Yes. It can, right. Because they're taking that extra step, they're really getting into the lottery. How does the lottery work for BCHM CPS?
So starting way back in February, for the last 6 or so weeks, parents have the opportunity to come in and to put in an application. So all students within all of the villages of Barnstable are eligible to come into the lottery, not just for kindergarten, but for kindergarten through grade 3.
See, that's important, I think, for parents to know too, because they may think, hey, if I don't have a kindergartner, I can't get in.
Exactly.
But that's not the case. You can apply at any grade level.
Yes, you can. So the lottery then looks at how many seats are available at each grade level. So if we had, let's say, 4 seats still available at grade 2 level, we would draw 4 applications from there. And in kindergarten, we have 84 seats that are available. So we will be drawing 84 applications on Wednesday at 2 o'clock.
Now, how many people have applied? Do you have numbers yet on how many people have applied so far?
We keep track of that, and we have more than 84 kindergartners, I can tell you that right now, so we will have a lottery. If by any chance we had less than 84, then a lottery wouldn't be necessary. All 84 would be enrolled. But this year we'll also do something a little different. Moving forward, if we have seats available, let's say in June or July, we'll have a second open enrollment where again we'll advertise that we have these seats available, let's say in grades 1, 2, and 3, and parents will still have an opportunity to apply.
Here's a question for you. If my child, let's just pretend I have a kindergartner and I get in the lottery, and then I have another 3-year-old.
Yes.
What is the sibling policy? So when that 3-year-old is kindergarten level, do they have preference for that lottery?
Yes. Yes, they do. So siblings are first in line for that lottery.
It's an important part of
siblings
I think, parents
enroll.
making a
They
decision.
don't actually have to be pulled out of the lottery. So
Okay.
Right.
So actually, that would just mean there's one space less that year for the lottery.
For
because
non-siblings.
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you have a lot of siblings who go through following their, staying in the family?
We do. We
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Right.
Anything else we should know that's really important? So what if someone's watching today and saying, boy, I really want to be a part of this lottery. It's happening on Wednesday. Is it too late for them to apply?
It's not at all too late. It's not at all too late. If you just come into the front desk, you'll be given the application. You need to bring an ID, proof of residency. And fill out the application. And there's a little bit more paperwork that goes to it, but
Just like any Barnstable public school student, you have the same criteria that we need to enroll in the Horace Mann School as we would in the other public schools in Barnstable. So those are available. So there are 3 different pieces of information that need to come in that show that you are a Barnstable resident.
And then once the lottery is held, do you have a wait list that
Yes.
you work off of in case
do.
someone decides not to take that spot?
Yes, we do. And we worked on that all summer as well. If somebody moved out of Barnstable and let us know about that, then we went right to the next person on the wait list. We were going through the wait list as late as October this year.
Wow. Wow. Really interesting. Anything else you want our viewers to be aware of about the school itself or the lottery process?
I do. I think the biggest question that people ask us is, how is your school different from other elementary schools? And again, along with our Accelerated Schools Plus model, the components of that are what really make us different. So there's enrichment for all students. We do have an enrichment teacher that's part of our charter. We have enrichment clusters, which are happening right now, and that's one of the most exciting things for the kids. So every winter, the children get a little mini course book with all these different choices of classes that they can sign up for. Things like, we have a lot of community involvement also. So the police academy, the fire academy, we have people coming from Sandy Neck, we have people from the Shark Conservancy, we use the HYCC. So children sign up for their little course, whether it be skating or science or robotics, and for every Friday for 6 weeks they go off to this mini class, the whole school, K through 3. And these little classes are run by teachers, parents, and community members. And we culminate, it'll be next Friday now because of all the snow days, but we culminate with a huge celebration where all the children can show their product, their projects, their performance that they learned. And the important thing about the enrichment clusters is that it shows children other opportunities for careers and hobbies that they may not be exposed to otherwise. So that's the whole purpose, is to make real world connections. That's probably the biggest part of the Accelerated Schools program, is why are we learning this? Why do we have to know this? So we always want to make that real world connection. We want kids working together. We want it to be hands-on.
Well, and to see too what individuals in our community, what jobs that they have, how they got there, why it's interesting to them, why they have a passion in that subject. So really cool to get, even at such a young age, to get that firsthand experience in the community and to meet members of the community.
Right.
It's amazing. Friday mornings, the energy is so high, so focused. Those children are so on. They have learned so much in these last 5 weeks. It's been great.
Thank you both so much. Patty Horgan, of course, kindergarten teacher, and you handle the lottery for the school, as well as Dr. Sheila Cuxtis, principal at the elementary school. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Up next, we have Glenn Cannon. He's going to talk to us about a very important road project in Cotuit. So Glenn, thank you for joining me today. I want to talk about a project that we've talked a little bit about before. Route 28 and Route 130 in Cotuit, or Santuit Newtown Road. There's going to be some improvements to the area. What's happening with this project right now?
Correct. It's a very important stage. So the Cape Cod Commission took it on as a planning project to step out in the community to see if there's any community support for it. That's our role. That's our number one role. It's the first step for any project. And again, we went out to the community, found out that at both Route 28 and Route 130, there's a lot of community support to have that intersection improved. Route 28 and Main Street, there's also a lot of concern about that intersection, but we think if we fix the other two, that intersection will take care of itself. And then Route 28 and Santuit Newtown Road, where there are a lot of crashes, a very serious problem. Residents also wanted to see that one fixed, upgraded, either a traffic signal or a roundabout, kind of split on which one they wanted to see, but definitely an improvement. They want to see it changed. So again, that's the Cape Cod Commission's role. That's what we do. Now it moves into the state process, and this is where things kind of slow down quite a bit. It takes a long time. It moves into the bureaucracy, if you will, of MassDOT. Very difficult, but I do want people to know that it will still move forward, and there'll always be time for decisions and people to express their opinion. So we need to make sure the project gets selected by MassDOT, and that's a big step.
How can let's say there's someone in Cotuit who's watching, a Cotuit resident,
Correct.
maybe someone who drives through Cotuit every day. They really care about this project. They really want to see it happen. They know that things slow down when it hits the state level. How can they help get this project approved?
Yeah, that's a great one. They can always send it an email, call, or write a letter. And I think they want to still send it in to me, because one thing that we do also, so we are the Cape Cod Commission staff, we also staff what's called the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and that staff helps MassDOT move these projects forward into that bureaucratic process. But there are two groups. The Joint Transportation Committee, they're going to meet actually this Friday. They meet virtually every month, and particularly now in the spring, this is when they select the projects that are going to be coming up. So again, you want to either, you want to write letters, send emails, give them a phone call, something that we can put into the record so that they know that this project is important. And I think that's something that the average citizen can do. They can certainly attend the meetings. These are public meetings. It's kind of sometimes a long, kind of technical agenda. I'll caution you. I'll tell you right now. I hate to say it, but that's the group. It's a technical group. But again, private citizens can still voice their opinion. They want to get it out there. And then there's also this Metropolitan Planning Organization. Again, they meet once a month. It's generally selectmen. Town of Barnstable is represented by the president of the town council. So they want to keep putting that pressure on there to have these projects selected, to have them moving forward. It's in the process of MassDOT. It does take a long time, but you want to make sure that it continues to move forward on every step of the way.
So write you a letter, write you an email, or give you a call at the Cape Cod Commission.
Correct. That is the best thing that they could be doing to make sure that the pressure is still applied to move this forward. Because there's a lot of decisions that still need to be made.
And as we've talked in the past, we have talked about the budget for projects and how it seems like a very large number when you say it out loud. But when you think about how much road projects really cost, the funds don't go as far as we'd like them to. Correct,
and that's part of it too. So even with this project, again, I'd say a lot of community support. Cape Cod gets about $10 million for roadway improvement projects, and it does sound like a lot of money, and you think it is. It doesn't get you that many projects. A traffic signal starts at $2.5 million. So even if we were to improve two places here, you're talking about a minimum of $5 million. At Route 28 and Route 130, many people endorsed relocating that traffic signal further west. That was the number one selection that the residents had there. That is more than $2.5 million, I can tell you for a fact.
Really?
Yes, it's probably closer to $4 million because it's extensive relocation of Route 130.
So when you're looking at $10 million and you're saying that Cape Cod has $10 million, there are going to be communities fighting for these funds all over Cape Cod. And so if one or two projects could take half that budget, you know, you're looking at a very limited number of projects. So definitely important for the community to reach out in support of this.
Correct. They definitely want to reach out and support this. They want to keep it moving forward again. You know, so even if you look at the whole system here, if we look at from Route 130 to Santuit Road, I could easily see this project, you know, costing $8–9 million. So this project could take up one whole year of the what they call the Transportation Improvement Program. That $10 million we get every single year. This one project could take up an entire year of that. And right, all 15 towns are vying for that money. So it's a very competitive process.
Now, will MassDOT officials look into these issues and sort of evaluate what should be put forward based on the number of accidents or fatalities?
Correct, and that's one thing that why we believe this definitely does need to move forward. There's two things that MassDOT looks at right off the bat, and one is safety and the other is congestion. And there are significant safety concerns here and significant congestion. So it moves into that realm of being a high priority project, but there are also other high priority projects. Again, all 15 towns are vying for that money. So it's a very competitive process, and people want to voice their opinion.
Well, thank you for stopping by today, telling us everything we need to know about the projects, how they're selected, and how we as residents can fight for projects that are important to us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. This is a very important part of the process also, that residents are involved, and that's exactly what MassDOT wants to see. So we welcome this opportunity to give, to talk about these projects.
Hey, thanks so much. My guest today, Glenn Cannon. He is the Technical Services Director at the Cape Cod Commission. Joining me now live on the phone is Jill Newmeyer DePiper. Jill is the Director of the Cape Cod Regional STEM Network. Jill, you have something really excited to tell us about. This is a Science on the Street at Cape Cod Community College. What is Science on the Street?
Science on the Street is an event that's happening this Saturday, March 18th. It's happening at the college as well as at the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History. Science on the Street is actually related to the Cambridge Science Festival and their Science on the Street, which happens every April. And this year, Cambridge Science Festival and Science on the Street director Peg Legendra is working with us to have this science event that happens, annually on the Cape be an event that happens across the Cape. So it's this Saturday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Cape Cod Museum of Natural History, where there are over 30 exhibits related to the natural world and our environment. And then from 12:30 to 4:30, we have about 45 exhibitors coming to Cape Cod Community College who are presenting on engineering, design, mathematics, and technology. These exhibits at the college are all free, and they're interactive. They're a time for students to experience what engineering and design look like, as well as a time for adults to learn what is here. The amazing technology that we use, as well as the engineering that happens everywhere.
That's pretty awesome that the events at Cape Cod Community College are going to be free. This is quite a program to offer for free. What age group is this really targeted towards?
Well, for younger students, there are exhibits that are about boat building and ramps. And for a bit older students, we have Lego We Do robots and coding at the computer lab, and activities as biochemistry and DNA. We also have exhibitors from the Media Center who are sharing a green screen. And what we find is that all people enjoy this a lot.
It's sounds like such a fun program. And then the also the event at the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History, there's a couple dollar fee for that. I think for a special event ticket, it's $5 for non-members, $3 for members. What can we expect during that portion of Science on the Street?
Well, that's a very reduced fee for the museum. The museum is normally a little bit more expensive than that. And so what we're doing to make this an event that crosses everywhere is if you go to the museum and you purchase a ticket, you can then come to the college and we're offering a free lunch.
Wow.
So you can make it a full day. So if you go to the museum and you spend $3 or $5, we're giving you a $3 or $5 lunch at the college. So then you can really make it a full day of science on the street, going from 2 major locations of science on the Cape and get a full day. And their exhibits, not only is the whole museum open, which is an amazing location. In addition, they're having other exhibitors come, such as National Marine Fisheries Service, Woods Hole Oceanographic, Ocean Protection Advocacy for Kids, and many exhibits that expand on what the museum already offers. So it's a really nice day.
So cool.
I think what's important to remember is that the exhibits are really, it's kind of like an art or a food festival where, you get this experience of seeing diversity of what's happening, just like you would at, art or a food festival where you see lots of things. But what happens is this becomes a learning experience where attendees get to engage in activities they may not be able to fit into one afternoon otherwise. So it's bringing everything together in a way that makes it really exciting.
Yeah, really affordable. Sounds really exciting. And I just love getting kids and students excited about learning rather than your typical, book classroom lecture. This just sounds like a great way to get kids really excited about science. So what a cool opportunity. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, one reason why we think it's important to get parents and community members at these things is for them to see how science is something they can do at home. When you start building with a bunch of rubber bands and some toothpicks, you can make some tongs. There's things that we want students to experience and do at home, as well as we want parents and community members to see, wow, I need to be supporting science in my schools and engineering in my schools, helping support line item budgets, and so there's consumable materials that are being purchased and things. It's not necessarily super expensive to engage in science and engineering, but it does take some money. And so we want to show that these things are important and valued in our community, and then they're continuing to be supported in schools.
Is there a website where individuals who are watching can learn more about the specific activities if they didn't have a pen with them to write everything down?
Yes, everything is on our website, CapeCodSTEMnetwork.org, and under news and events it's listed. And it's the second one down because Pi Day is tomorrow.
Oh,
we have information up about Pi Day, which we have all sorts of fun things. What the STEM Network tries to do is promote all of the wonderful things that are happening on Cape Cod. We run our own events, but we really try to support what other people are doing. There's amazing small nonprofits and museums and businesses and, our 14 different school districts that are doing these things. And so the STEM Network is this idea of bringing these groups together, hosted by the college, who can be this place that can support and bolster all these activities. And so we, on CapeCodSTEMnetwork.org, post this information. We're happy to share others' information. And for Saturday's events, there's already a map up, as well as what we're calling an activity log, so you can see what are the big ideas we want you to capture at this event, as well as see, leave with some questions that you want to continue to consider, like what do I wonder now? Who else do I want to visit? And what are my next steps?
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, telling us all about Science on the Street. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
You as well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
My guest today, Jill Newmeyer DePiper. She is the Director of the Cape Cod Regional STEM Network. Now let's find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. You can celebrate the Emerald Isle and all things Irish at the Barnstable Senior Center this month during their annual St. Patrick's Day lunch. Guests will enjoy Judy Red's famous corned beef and cabbage and traditional Irish entertainment from Sean Murphy and Friends, along with a few other surprises. You can purchase your tickets at the Senior Center. The fun and memorable yearly event sells out quickly. The St. Patrick's Day lunch will be held Thursday, March 16th from noon to 2:30. The event is sponsored by the Friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging. The Sturgis Library will host a book discussion this month focused on The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The famous book was recently made into a television series on Hulu. The Handmaid's Tale book discussion will be held at the Sturgis Library Tuesday, March 28th at 6:30. The discussion is open to all and free to attend. Now here's a look at this week's board, committee, and commission schedule. And just to note, so many meetings are scheduled this week. That's actually just Monday's schedule, but we do want to make sure you might want to check before attending a meeting tomorrow. We are expecting some inclement weather, so might want to check just to make sure that meeting isn't canceled. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to be back tomorrow with another great show for you. Tomorrow we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos and so much more. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.